my goodness. Welcome to the show, everybody. Raw Babes 101. I am your co-host, Miss Kristen, and we have Miss Tiffany, and we have the beautiful guest back, Miss Madison Desjarlais. Did I say it right?
Back again, and
she's back. Hey, tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Okay. If you would like to know more about this feminine divine goddess, you can check back on episode 103 to find out all of the details and all the magic that she does here on Earth School. But I will tell you, she is a physiological birth advocate and doula, and we decided to bring her ass back to talk about magical womb goddess menstrual cycle flowage, okay? And all of the things. We're raw, we're unscripted, and we are going to talk about things that may feel a little uncomfortable or trigger you, or you may not agree with, and that is okay. This is the disclaimer. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We are going to talk about it all, and sorry, not sorry, ever. Truth seekers, right here.
Boom, boom,
boom. Anything else? Our purpose is to always bring awareness and knowledge so you can be in the know and have the ability to make an educated choice and not have choices be made for you and for your body that can have later many consequences.
That's right.
So what do you think about them apples?
So I feel like we're in a process of ascension, meaning that there's a lot of information that's coming into the field for humans right now. And like you said, it's either going to resonate with you or it's not. If it does resonate with you, go in, dive deep so that you can teach others. If it doesn't resonate with you, let it go. Maybe in this lifetime it's not for you, and that's okay.
Or dimension.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure if you've landed here, there's no quinky dink. There's just facts and truth. And it's good to see the truth.
And feel it in your body. I want to invite you to feel and listen with your body. So we are very receptive. We're very porous. You know, we have pores all over our body. So when you're listening to the information, you're taking it into your body and seeing how it feels in your body rather than just listen with your ears. Take it into every other orifice in your body and see how it feels. Yeah. Listen with your body, and then you'll feel truth. And a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is womb wisdom, and so I want to invite you to bring it into your sacral. Bring it into your solar sacral root area. Take it in. Breathe in.
Even just like taking a moment to expand, like us women, we contract our stomachs to stay flat so much, to look a certain way. Let it go. Like just sit and relax.
Let it go.
Let it
go. Relax the jaw.
Yeah.
I always tell women in birth, they're like this is their face, right? Like
yes.
Holy shit.
And when she is embodied in her birth.
Chewbacca over here.
This is fantastic.
Right? But when she is embodied, it's a lot of sex sounds like like that's physiological birth. So sensual, so beautiful.
Mine was a little bit in between sensual but also cow-like. I was literally just like, oh my, you don't even know what you're doing. You're like, oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah.
But you know what? Actually, this is funny. Apparently, somebody, one of their husbands was getting so turned on by their wife in labor.
Oh, shit.
They're like, yeah, it happens.
Powerful.
It is powerful.
Yeah.
But I would be like, you're just going to have to wait a little while.
Tuck it in, boy.
It's
what about a pocket pussy?
Just tuck it in. What is it? Like pull and tuck or like under the belt flip?
You tuck it under the waistband, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're like, I don't know.
That's a good trick.
Don't have a penis. So.
Yeah, I don't
I have a son, and
you can tell him to tuck it in,
my husband taught my son
You just
I was part of that conversation.
tuck it
That's
in.
right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, let's get back on track.
Penises are important. Yeah, penises are important.
They are.
Men have an incredible sacral power within them. The force of creation. We have the force of creation. We need them. That life force energy. We need them.
This is funny when you're like, we need them.
Well, we don't need them.
No, but we do.
But we do.
Of course.
If we want to procreate.
Exactly. No, and yes, we absolutely do, but it's just so funny how you're like, we need them.
We do. We need them to find balance.
It's truth. They have good tools, I must say.
I'll never forget funny home videos back in the day. This little girl had a birthday party. And all she asked was for Barbie dolls, and she got a Ken doll. She's like, I needed a man. I needed a man. And the whole party, all the adults were all like laughing.
Oh my god.
She didn't know. She was just like,
Yeah.
I needed a man.
That's so cute.
That's awesome.
I love that. Okay. What do we got?
So why don't we go into the phases of the menstrual cycle?
Please.
How many of us actually know what happens in our cycle? Do you know?
You know, I have some ideas, but I really don't know. So
I feel like you're going to tell me.
Okay.
I would love for you to lay it all on the line.
Is this a trick question?
No, yeah, well,
This
first
is-
things first, I feel like through my line of work, knowing how the cycle works and what a healthy cycle looks like in a woman, in a female.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
So do you see right here, it says different phases and cycles we go through monthly?
Yeah.
So you're answering the question.
Yes!
Because I sent it telepathy.
Yes! So we have this beautiful rhythm in our body, this menstrual cycle, this rhythm that is governed by anywhere between 24 to 35 days.
Okay.
So men have a 24-hour cycle. Women, those with a womb, have between a 21 to 35-day cycle, which is really interesting because the moon cycle is also around 28 to 30 days, 21 to 30 days.
Did you say 21 to
21
to 28?
to 20, on average, 21 to 35 days.
Okay. And
The
that's
average,
the woman. That's the woman.
The average is 29 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the man is 24 hours?
24. His whole cycle happens within all day. That's it. We go through a whole cycle in like a whole month, 4 weeks.
So they have one day of mixed emotions.
Of menstrual
and
cycle.
we're like, boom.
Men have one day.
Yeah.
You guys.
What day is this?
Yeah. How do we
wanna
know?
take
Do we know
advantage
this?
We should know what day we are on in our cycle in order. This is how we take back our power and work with the power of, and work with our cycle so that we can work in tune with our life and be in alignment with what feels good for us as women. If I'm in my luteal phase, I'm slowing down. If I'm in my follicular phase, I'm speeding up. I'm ready, right? So I want to get into that so we know.
Yeah. The question is, I know this isn't about the men's cycle, but is there any way for the man to figure out when his 24-hour cycle is?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know much about that,
Okay.
honestly.
It's something that
that's
we
not
can
my
look
expertise.
into. No.
We need to have someone who is more expertise in that information because I
I'd
would
like
be
to
willing to know. What I've heard is that testosterone is higher in the morning, and so they're go-getters in the morning.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, for most men, yeah,
Okay.
they're go-getters in the morning, and then things slow down. They get a little cranky near the end of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're ready to go to bed. That's why
Right.
I feel like most men can fall asleep within 5 minutes.
Oh.
Like they just lay down, like, okay, whole cycle done, go to bed.
Right.
I'm in my resting phase, my menstrual phase during the
Wow.
sleep time, and then you wake up and you're like go-getter follicular phase. But that's not, it's different. for
Okay, so
men.
the men's... Okay, I know we're not... This is not... I'm just so curious.
Yeah, we got to look
the
into
men's
this.
24-hour cycle, is that every day? Or just once a month?
every day.
Oh, every day.
Yeah.
Oh, they go through it every day.
So their whole so their rhythm is one 24-hour cycle. Our rhythm is about a month long. Okay? Does that make
Wow.
sense? Yeah. So if they
Oh
know
my
where you
God.
are in your cycle,
Okay.
then they can, you're a little bit more happier couple.
You can assist
Yeah,
each
you can
other.
help. Yeah.
just laugh at my husband this morning because he tried with me today, and I was like, dude, I'm bleeding. I'm like, why? I'm just not
into
just
feeling it.
No. And usually he never does that. Never, ever.
I actually write on the calendar what day where I'm at in my cycle, so that he knows, okay, I'm day 15, I'm horny as fuck, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna have sex.
Yeah.
I need that right now.
Yeah.
Or he knows I'm day 21, I'm a bitch. Don't test me.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm tired. You're making dinner. You're making dinner. Like, I don't even, so that I don't have to
rub my feet,
right?
Oh my god.
But I don't even have to say anything.
No,
right?
that's amazing.
So then he
Tiffany,
knows.
you need a calendar.
Yeah, just write it.
Because I was always like resisting. So I know where my cycle is.
No.
Like I'm fine. Like I don't need to like remind myself where I'm at. It's a full goddamn moon. But maybe for him that would be very beneficial.
Yeah, they need help.
They need help.
We can help them out.
You know what? It's just part of communication.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what's going on inside of you.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the phases. Like this, you guys, is so important.
Yeah.
It's just to get into the know and that feeling of your body, like really get inside and know like what is going on. What are these phases?
So there's 4 phases in a menstrual cycle.
Okay.
The first phase is considered our menstrual phase. This is our time of bleeding. Okay. So this is days 1 to 5. So for most women, you're bleeding for about 5 days on average. Some women bleed only about 3 days or 2 days, right? Depending. And I want to also relate the phases to the moon cycle, a certain season, and an element, because everybody kind of understands it in a different way.
Okay.
So our menstrual phase, days 1 to 5, estrogen is low, testosterone is low, and this is our inner winter. Okay, so this is when we're quiet, we're introverted, introspective, we should be going inside, resting in our cave, bleeding it all out.
Perfect.
Element of the earth, right? Grounding. So even there's a beautiful practice where women are actually bleeding onto the earth right now. They are free bleeding onto the earth, onto
right
the
now.
Dirt, into their gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah, nitrous
Even
oxide.
taking their diva cup or whatever, and you can do an offering. You can just put it into the earth.
Yeah. Right? Asking Mother Earth to transmute energy for you.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez, so deep.
and when we offer our blood back to the earth, we're doing it as a way to say thank you. And when we do it with intention, we can either call energy into our life or let go of energy. Right?
Imagining like,
Yes!
let it go.
Oh my god. I can't. Tiffany, I can't. Oh my
Actually, a
god.
powerful practice, and yes, I've done this. We're on Raw Babes, so
Oh, of course.
I smothered my face in my blood and smothered my breasts with my blood and
in the bath?
It was
Or
in the
just-
bathroom. There was fucking blood everywhere, and it was a murder scene, but it was so beautiful, it was so powerful, and I'm meditating with my blood, drying on my body, all the stem cells, offering
Explain
so much.
this. So
Crazy.
go back before anybody just goes and does this. There's a reasoning and there's a time and there's also a type that will be coming from you.
That's right.
Because obviously you said that if it isn't fresh and pure,
You wouldn't be doing this.
you wouldn't be doing this. So maybe you can go elaborate on that.
Right.
I didn't know we were getting into it quite so quickly. I thought it was going to be in, but hey, let's drop the fucking goods
Go with the
right
flow,
here.
baby.
Yes, we are flowing.
Literally.
So with our blood, healthy blood is bright red crimson blood. Okay.
Bright red.
Bright red crimson blood. That is a healthy blood. That's kind of like this color, like nice and red.
Okay.
Dark blood, brownish blood signifies stagnation in the body. So you could be going through some kidney stuff, liver stuff. Your body is having a hard time purging what's no longer serving you. It's slow.
Yeah.
It could even be the blood from your last cycle that's still trying to come
Yes.
down.
I've
Dang.
had many
Right?
of those.
So things that can help with that, there's a lot of herbs that can help with stagnant energy in the body, right? This is traditional Chinese medicine, talk a lot about the qi and promoting more flow. So there's different herbs for that. Acupuncture really helps. Massage, heat. We want heat. Warming herbs like cumin, cinnamon, cardamom, ginger.
Not during your period.
No, you could take these herbs during your period.
Take them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not a medical. I'm not a practitioner in any way,
No.
like in that sense. So definitely check in with the TCM if you're noticing your blood is dark brown. If it's a purplish color, that's a sign of infection. So something's really going on in the body.
Good. I had never heard of this. Good
I've
to
never
know.
heard of that either.
Actually, it kind of looked like the color of this pen.
Holy shit.
Like that's a sign of some viral infection going on. So it's so amazing. Like our blood shows us what's happening inside our bodies.
Yes.
Right?
And how many, let's go here for a second. How many people have been taught, oh, like my period is such a problem and it's an annoyance and it's annoying, and you know, the tampon use, and then people aren't looking at the tampon after. People aren't looking at what color blood is coming out. It's just annoyance. It's like, oh, get it out, change it, go on to the next thing. So it's so great that you're bringing this up to really like sit back and be gentle with our bodies, stay home, nurture ourselves, you know, wear a pad or a Diva cup, allow it to naturally flow out of you because you're stopping it. It's just like totally stopping the flow.
This is our superpower. It is our opportunity to actually detox. So we're going inside, and if we want to correlate it with the moon, this is the new moon, the dark moon, right? So we're going inside and we're introspective. We're feeling into our body what's coming up for us. We're feeling it so that we can heal it. Yeah. So again, bright red crimson blood. This is the blood you want to work with if you're calling in energy. If you want to do a face mask for the good stem cells and all that kind of stuff.
And because of the stem cells.
Dope.
So
yes.
If you guys like, it's for youthful, and stem cells are so powerful. People pay a lot of money to work with stem cells.
And we got it right.
You got
inside.
them.
What?
So there was actually a study that was done.
I didn't even know that.
In a petri dish. They took heart cells, combined it with healthy menstrual blood, and the stem cells in the menstrual blood actually allowed for the heart cells to duplicate. They were growing. They were growing a new heart in the petri dish with the blood
From a menstrual cycle.
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
A healthy
flow.
cycle.
Yes.
Holy shitballs.
Because this is our power
like
we
an egg.
create.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's active shit. A lot of hormones in there.
Not so many hormones are coming out. It's really the stem cells, nitrous oxide. That's why it's good for our plants and good for the earth, to offer it back to the earth.
So say that again, nitrous
Oxide is in there, and then there's red and white blood cells. Yeah.
Wow. There's so much that we just haven't been taught.
So going with this, I may be jumping the gun a little bit with this question, but because everything has a purpose, a divine purpose. Obviously, we're so connected with Gaia and the earth because anything that she grows is beneficial to us. For our menstrual cycles, do you think that you could answer going back so far as to more of the purpose of our blood if it's so healthy and full of life?
So what happens, on a physiological level, the shed is happening because we're not pregnant. Our body is not focusing on developing an embryo or a fetus or a child. It's focusing on releasing that endometrial lining. So the endometrial lining actually thickens so that it can be a healthy, vital vessel for this baby that's being developed in the womb. If that endometrial lining is not needed, it is then you are shedding it. You are releasing it.
Okay.
Otherwise, and that's why, we'll get into this topic, but like hormonal birth control is not healthy for the body because you're not shedding that endometrial lining. So there's serious stagnation of energy in the body.
Okay.
Right? Does that answer your question?
Well, I was more wondering, like, externally, like, what it could be used for. Like, once it's released out of your body. Like you said, it could go into
even
the
like
earth
back in the day, you're thinking like way
like
before.
medicinal reasons, I guess.
Medicinal ritual. Okay, so they were using menstrual blood for ritual.
Okay.
Right? that bright, healthy crimson blood. You know, they would anoint their bodies and call on prayers. They would offer it back to the earth and call on for abundance.
Okay.
This is it's like a sacred sacrifice. My body released this blood as a sacred sacrifice. What can I get in return? Right? So this is the intention.
Interesting.
And there are some women, and this is with caution, there are women who will ingest and consume micro amounts, right? Like, you're not gonna take your Diva cup and like, woo! Like, no, you're not gonna take a shot. Like, that would probably hurt your stomach.
I've heard of this. Somebody I've definitely that it's just normal, and there's
strongly
so much
suggested not to try that.
So much nutrients.
Right.
Yeah. To each their own.
What?
Well, it's like a beautiful sacred union. So there's even like this sacred elixir that some couples are doing right now, where they're taking the man's semen and putting it with some of her menstrual blood and then drinking that shit.
What?
Okay? Some people are doing it.
Wow.
And it's like a ritual.
I feel like it's a lot of people when you say some. I bet you it's more than some. Like, some is like
we don't know.
a handful.
Yeah.
There's no way. I know it. Numbers game. There's lots of people doing it. Please don't do it.
So that's a way to bind. That's a way. I mean, it is a way to bind. Like, you're committed for life. You're committed for the next couple lifetimes. Like, when you do that shit. But
does it really matter doing it like that?
It's the intention.
It's the intention.
But the intention, you could still have sex during your period, and you could still release the semen, and your body's still going to absorb it.
I love that.
Hey!
There we go.
Good. But what's the intention then when you're doing that?
I think it's way more sacred doing that because you're putting the two vessels
Whoa,
together.
Tiffany!
And our vaginas are the one that really absorbs everything.
Hold on a minute.
Right?
Back the truck up. You just... What? That is a sacred You have just taken it from people that are like, ew. This is a great analogy.
Yeah.
People that are like, ew, how could you do that? Like, blah. Well, you're doing it anyway if you're having intercourse.
I don't want to taste it.
No, I'm just saying that's the alternative.
Yeah.
This is what you just provided people with, and a different analogy of like putting it together and having it versus intercourse and having that sacred
it's just
union.
way more natural. I feel like this is a TikTok thing. It's like a trend, right?
No,
it's a thing.
There are ancient civilizations that would do this in ritual and consume it into their bodies. And yeah, but what you're suggesting is incredible. I love this.
Right?
Yeah. It makes me think like my partner and I are fucking bound for life now.
Oh my god.
We're fucking bound for life now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, look at you all.
That's good.
I love having sex on my period. I love having. It's like it helps me.
Yeah.
Certain
periods. Now, okay, we've jumped the gun so many times here
during this conversation.
I know, because you obviously have specific things to talk about, but you're talking about certain times of your period, or is it? I'm also wondering, like, quarterly. Like, what are we dealing with throughout the whole year in the cycles within that? Because I find some of my cycles can be extremely painful, but I can also take part blame to that because of my lifestyle during that time.
That's right.
Right? But then sometimes, I'm just in the way that I'm feeling, in the way I've felt in the past. I'm icky, like, don't touch me. But my husband and I have obviously, we've been together for so many years. We have had intercourse on my period, and it's been fine.
Yeah.
It's been totally fine. I listen to my womb.
Yes.
Like, when it comes to that part, because it's like, am I, like,
Open
sometimes
or
I'll
closed?
sacrifice my body for him. I will do that. And my body is legit not ready. And it's a completely different feeling.
And that's when I think the best thing is to listen to your body.
Yeah. But I do resonate, like, with, like.
Well, it depends on what we're doing. So let's get back to the phases.
Yeah, I want to know the phases. This is a big deal.
Because depending on what you're doing in your throughout the beginning of your phase, that's going to show up in your next cycle. Okay?
Okay.
So what you did last month is going to show up in your next bleed time.
Okay.
If you were go crazy, not taking good care of yourself last month, that's going to show up during your bleed.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that makes sense.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
I did good last month.
So if you had a easy bleed, then yeah, you're fucking killing it.
I barely felt anything.
Good.
Like, it was amazing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I just knew it was coming because it was the full moon.
Breast tenderness is a sign of liver imbalance.
Oh.
FYI. Okay? If your breasts are sore right before you bleed, that's a sign of liver imbalance.
Ooh.
Either, estrogen dominant. Yeah. So.
You know what I've been having recently? Is
What?
my nipples feel like they're engorged, like I'm about to like it was the same
Like when you
feeling
used to
I
give
breastfeeding.
breastfed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'll dream about it, and often I'll have that sensation, and I had that before this period, and I thought it was really odd. It's never really happened before.
Wow, I've never heard that. That sounds really interesting.
I'm a fucking alien.
No.
Well, we know this, but
Something's
obviously
going on.
liver.
Yeah.
Liver?
Liver stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nipples feeling that.
Yes. Liver.
Your
'Cause, like,
body is
usually
not
I'd feel
detoxing. Your body is having a hard time detoxing your hormones. So they're stuck.
Okay, they're
your,
stuck.
Your liver's like, and then your boobs are like,
It makes sense.
So-
I'm like,
all the purging I've been doing, the good lifestyle choices I've been making
yes,
has been paying off.
yes,
Because,
it is.
yeah, I can resonate with that. Yeah,
Okay,
it's fine now, but
so we have menstrual phase 1 to 5.
Yeah.
We've got low estrogen.
low estrogen.
You said this is when we're at home, chilling, relaxing, nurturing. Don't go out and push your body. This is like so important to just stay home.
Chill.
Just stay home.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love my home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to,
Heat pack, like castor oil pack right on the womb, right on
Yes.
the liver.
Castor
So
oil is
good.
amazing.
So
so
good.
how do you use the castor oil?
You squirt it on organic fabric, organic cotton preferably, and then you place it on either your liver or your womb,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put a heat, some sort of heat element, right?
I just
Yeah.
put it directly on my skin
Oh yeah,
and rub it in.
me too.
And then I put the heat
Yeah.
on top. And I've done that
Okay.
forever.
Yeah.
And it actually can, the beautiful thing about castor oil is it can go all the way deep into the layers with heat, and it can actually do the detoxing, and it can help with cysts and endometriosis and all these things, and
What's
dissolve
castor
them.
oil from?
It's a plant
Yeah, I was
derivative.
gonna say it's a plant.
I don't know the name of the plant,
Neither do I.
not off the top of my head, but it is from Mother Earth.
Yes.
And you want to buy castor oil that is,
Write that down.
yeah,
Yeah.
castor oil that is stored in glass is the best.
The best.
Because it's so good at pulling things,
Mm.
and it really goes deep, right? So if it's stored in plastic, then it's like
You're dealing with
infused with,
that.
microplastics.
Shit.
Yeah, so you want something that was like in the store in glass.
With my second, she was running late. Not like her mom at all.
Oh my God.
And we did everything. Like, I did everything. I cleaned the house. We'd have sex. I was like
Spicy foods,
all the
that
thing,
shit.
everything, and
Yeah.
nothing was working. So I did
Drank
the
it.
castor oil.
Did you shit your pants and puke?
You know what? I probably did on the table when I was giving birth.
Yeah.
I didn't throw up, but
But it helped.
it happened right away.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it was,
I think, right when you're on the verge, if you're close, castor oil can help, but it is not a practice that I would suggest.
Exactly.
Yeah, people don't suggest it.
No.
I didn't know that.
And
I was
that's- yeah.
I was listening to old practice, like
Yeah.
80s.
And it's okay because it is what it is. But it's
Yeah.
like now with all the things that we've talked about on the last episode, it's all about letting your body and the baby do all the magic and let it just naturally happen
Yeah.
instead of rushing to try to force.
Yeah.
But good thing for you. There was no
it was
complications.
beautiful. My first was not that easy, and she came first labor pain to birth like 4 hours.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it worked
Came
out.
out naturally, and my first
Yeah.
was a C-section, so it was amazing.
It was beautiful. You got to
Yeah.
experience.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I was
natural
very
after.
happy about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, phases, guys. We've only hit the phase 1 to 5. We are stuck at 1 to 5. I would like to now flow through 1 to 5, and I'd like to start going from 5 on.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
So we're starting to emerge. The moon is shifting into a waxing phase, right? Our inner moon is shifting into a waxing phase. So from days 5 to 14, this is our inner spring. Okay. So the element of air is really present for us. We're light and airy and taking it all in. We're no longer bleeding. Our energy is building. And this is where estrogen is starting to rise. The endometrial lining that I was talking about earlier starts to thicken in preparation for potential conception, implantation, right? So the endometrial lining is starting to thicken in the womb. And then ovulation will occur. This is when we got real horny. And ovulation is going to occur between anywhere from, for women, it's all different. So it could happen anywhere from day 10 to day 23. Okay?
I'm like 19, 20, just if anybody wants to know.
But that's average. That's when she's on day 19.
Do you have a sign-up chart?
Yeah.
Well.
I'm usually day 15.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. So what am I then? Because what did I say to you? It's 2 weeks is today.
2 weeks is today, so you're getting close to ovulation. So right now you're still in your follicular phase. Okay, so this phase I'm talking about is our follicular phase. It is our
That's what I'm in right now.
Pre-ovulatory phase. This is when most women feel their best. Is during their follicular phase because they're getting ready, right? They're getting ready to pop their egg out of their.
I might have
ovary.
Been practicing. Just kidding.
Okay.
The sex toy party in Kristen's room.
But now my question for you is, what does your cervical mucus look like?
Right now?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't.
You don't know?
You don't scoop and see?
You don't take a look?
Well,
Scoopy.
not unless it's released from the vagine into the underwear.
So
but I don't have anything.
This is how we know we actually ovulated, or we're ovulating.
Oh, so I know. So like, this is fucking
secretion,
way too much information. Like, had your kids, had your phone.
Let's go.
So I know because like I'll wipe and it's. No, I'll wipe and it's literally like slides off of the.
It's like, and it's clear and it's slippery.
Yes, it's what they would call egg whites.
Yes,
it's like, and it's super beautiful and clear.
Yeah.
Like
Beautiful.
it's beautiful. No, because I'm like, oh, look at how it's like perfect it is.
I love it. You're ovulating, girl.
So I do know, but guess what? The ticker is.
The clitter?
Clitter. This is the clitter.
This is such a fun episode. I want to do this all the time.
Yeah.
So, I only ovulate 2 days, buds.
That's it. So on average, most women will only actually be fertile for about 2 or 3 days out of the month. Some really lucky women are ovulating for like 7 days out of the month, and they're super fertile.
I need to drop a little tidbit in here. Because I had such an interesting experience to then actually get pregnant, the best tip I can give every woman on the planet, throw those ovulation predictor kits in the fucking garbage. Don't waste your money. Go and get a chart. It has little squares on it. It says what time it is on the side. Get an old school thermometer. You put it underneath your armpit. You wake up in the morning the same time. You put it under your armpit, you check what it is, and you start on your chart.
You start tracking your basal body temperature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you get a slight rise, you'll follow the chart. It's like freaking connect the dots. You will see. That is the only way that I ever knew the exact days. Then I started so you'll see a pattern. You'll do this every month. So I did it for 3 months. And I was like, are you kidding me? On day 19 and 20? Like it wasn't anywhere near what I had ever thought.
Interesting.
So you think even with, like, yes, ovulation and you wipe and but this is even more next level because your body, of course, is the manual to everything and it will tell you as well.
So you're talking about the fertility awareness method, also known as FAM. Right? So the fertility awareness method is when we're checking our basal body temperature every morning.
Okay.
And when we see a peak in temperature, there's a rise in temperature, we are ovulating. So we're hot. We're hot and ready.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Beautiful.
And then in conjunction with checking out your cervical mucus, and then that's another way to confirm, okay, yeah, like we're ready. This is really good cervical mucus that is going to be great and viable for our sperm.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I can just tell the way I feel.
Well, that's
I'm
so
like,
good.
I want to get fucked.
Oh my.
Like, let's go. Like,
You just know.
Penetration all the way.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. Let's do this. Okay, quick question on that note. Okay, I've been married we've been together for about 24 years now. And there was a period in our marriage, and I know this is kind of like a married, I've been with your partner for a number of years, kind of a joke, where sex is just like no longer. And this has happened, but this is when I was not in my healthy body. Okay. But what is happening for women in that time? Say we don't know we're not healthy, and they're like, I'm never horny. I don't want to. No, we don't do this.
Low libido, low sex drive.
Yeah.
They're not feeling hot and horny and like juicy, and your hormones are not in balance. It's bottom line, we're just a ball of hormones, and if we're not wanting to actually have sex every month, and we're not feeling horny, happy, and ready to go, then that's a sign of hormonal imbalance in the body.
This is a really good topic that I do ask frequently my clients, is if they are feeling horny at any time of the month, because from my experience, it was a completely hormone imbalance. And when I am balanced and my period's on time and, all the things, I know exactly when I'm ovulating. Like, it is like, okay, let's go.
Nice.
It's just time.
Good for you.
But I do remember, like, oh no, now I fit in that, like, that box of, like, oh, you don't have sex with your partner anymore, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, no, I mean, I'm probably more attracted to my husband now than probably ever.
Wow.
Good job, Dave. Good job.
Good job, Dave.
He's like, great, what did I do?
Yeah.
Like, what did I do? He's like, no, I'm sure he's done a lot.
Yeah.
But really, it comes down to even like within yourself, but there's also could be resentment and emotional. You're not connecting, or something's happened.
Well, here's the download that I'm getting.
Yes. Please.
We are not going to want to be in a receptive mode, take in any more energy if we're already having to deal with so much shit.
Beautiful.
So because our vagina is so porous, our yoni is so porous, and we're taking in energy, if your partner's in a shitty state and you're having sex with them, that's probably why you're going to feel shitty too. You know what I mean?
Like, no, thank you.
So if you're in a heavy place and you're not feeling in good health, and then you're having sex with your partner, that's not going to help the situation, right? And so that would make sense as to why you weren't feeling it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I do feel like a healthy body will feel the urge.
Yes,
right? And you can be on the other side though too,
where you feel too much, where you can't. You want it too much. Yeah, that can also. There's distractions there too, right? There's so many things within that.
Then you're using your sexual power to actually distract you from doing inner work. Yeah.
It's like one extreme to the other.
What is out of balance other than obviously like the mental practice and like lifestyle when you're too horny?
When you're too horny, what's the counter action to that? I would say start doing some yin yoga. Actually slowing the F down, in yin yoga, you have to stay in a position for like 4 minutes and like sit there and breathe and surrender into your feeling.
I'm getting a lot of information about distraction. So it's like, especially you find this a lot with masculine energy, and I'm not going to just say it's only men, but they're working. Yes, totally. So it's both, but if you're so busy and you're like, let's just even say CEO, or you're, you got all this stress, you're so built up, it's a form of them to release. It's a way to release it out of them, whether it's into somebody else or that energetic exchange. Like, I can't handle anymore. Here you go. And a lot of the times these people, their partners, like what you're saying, is end up getting that exchange. And obviously then they have to deal with that. And then they're feeling fine, like, oh, I'm good, I'm going to go on to the next thing. They get super built up, just like an air balloon, and then they need to release again. So like you say, sitting in a yoga practice or for those 4 minutes, a lot of these people, especially these CEOs, is like their distraction of their phones, their emails. They wake up in the morning, they go to the gym, they eat their food, they're on to the next, this task. They're not stopping ever. And that's the moment when they get a moment to release.
Right.
So I think it's women
well,
too.
I think we're talking about a little bit of addictions right now, because a yogi practice or anything like that would help with any level of addiction. But for sex practice, like for me, if I'm not like physically ready, there's no way I could do it. I can't.
To do what?
Have sex. Yeah.
Right.
It's painful.
Yeah.
But
And it just doesn't feel, it feels more of like a task. It's not really
It's actually
an experience.
and it's like it's going against your entire body. Of like, if it's all a no, you know what I mean? If your body's fully saying no and you do it anyways, that's crossing your boundaries. And I know a lot of women do that. They say, oh, well, I'm going to do it because I don't want my husband to go somewhere else or my partner to go somewhere else. So there's a lot of guilt and shame. And then that was what I was going to get to about like sex. And some women or men have had really traumatizing experiences in childhood. And that can carry on later on and can also make them be like, I don't want to revisit what I experienced.
Right.
So they just shut down.
So then they call up Madison and they're like, can I come in for a womb healing?
Exactly.
Because I got all this shit stuck in my uterus, stuck in my
Exact.
ovaries, stuck in my womb. We need to go through the layers and clear that.
And this also is a perfect circle back to menstrual flow and cycle. When we are shameful or turning away or resentful, it also shows up in our bodies.
Yes.
So doing these and getting in the know of the flow and of what's going on in your body and these phases and cycles, I think is going to help a lot of people that are listening to go, oh my God, I didn't even know that. I didn't even realize that. And it's like that thing about if you're not even having sex, and like maybe right now it won't be with your partner, but maybe make that special time for yourself. Like have your bath. Like don't put shame and like push away, because that's another form of releasing and letting go. Right?
Right.
Okay, back to
So
our
recap. Let's do a recap.
Yes, let's recap
So
it.
the menstrual phase is when we're bleeding. Okay. This is days 1 to 5. Our follicular phase, the pre-ovulatory phase, is between days 5 to 14. And then, boom, the egg is released. For you, around day 19. For me, I release around day 15. And we're fertile for a day or two, right? So if you're trying to conceive, the best time to be having sex is in this pre-ovulatory phase, this follicular phase, because sperm can actually live inside the vagina for up to 5 days. And so when
it's a girl.
Yeah. So when you're having sex right before you ovulate, there's already sperm that are up there ready to go.
Okay.
And for conception, right?
Yeah. They're just like waiting around. Okay.
And then the egg pops, and then they meet, and then baby happens, right? So if you're trying to not get pregnant, then you are not having sex in your follicular, close to your ovulatory time.
Yes.
Right? So, yeah, because we're really only fertile for about 2, 3, maybe 4 days out of the cycle. And if you know what days you're ovulating, then you know what days to not have sex if you don't want a baby.
Exactly.
Right? And this is the best method, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's like knowing your body to a science. It's the manual. It's like, you don't want to have a baby? Well, fucking get your head right. Like, know your system.
Know what's
That's
going
it.
on.
Know your system.
So now estrogen is super high and the endometrial lining is thick. And if implantation occurs, then, an embryo will start to develop and then a fetus will come in and it's just beautiful, right? Pregnancy. If the egg does not meet the sperm or you do not conceive, the endometrial lining is now ready to shed. So this is where we head into our luteal phase. So days 21 to 28. Progesterone is starting to rise and we're getting a little cranky. Okay, so this is our inner fall. This is like time decomposition. Things are slowing down, and that's why women can feel irritable, anxious, or depressed.
Like a little bloaty, or like
Bloated.
a little bit not, when you just don't feel like, I don't want to say pretty, but like, that like attractive, like, oh, I feel so good when you put on your clothes. Like, it's like that whole phase.
Yeah. Sometimes, high progesterone can cause headaches. I sometimes get headaches from the rise in progesterone.
That's what it is. The rise in progesterone.
Can cause headaches. Yeah. The breast tenderness that we were talking about before, right? So a sign of liver imbalance. And that's
so cool.
Yeah. Some women's breasts will actually get a little sore around ovulation, though, so not to be deceived.
Okay.
Right? Some women will actually feel cramping when they ovulate as the egg is literally releasing.
So I will feel on either the left or right side when I know what's,
Me too.
Yeah, it's cool.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. We can be in tune, right?
So in tune, I'm like, oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Hey.
Bye, little bitty.
Yeah.
And then, right, so in this luteal phase, it's our inner fall. So we're feeling, it's the moon is waning. The element of water is present, and so we might be, feel like we gotta cry.
Yeah.
Get a little sad, get a little down. Some women feel great in their luteal phase. I don't. I feel like shit, honestly.
Can we just go back for one moment and explain to these beautiful viewers and listeners what happens when they're taking the birth control pill? With just the fact that you shared that beautiful phase of the crying and, the fall, the winter, the depression, all the things. What about that?
So when you are on hormonal birth control, the pill, depending on what brand you're taking, they're all the same. They keep you in that high progesterone state. It's actually a synthetic form of progesterone called progestin, and it's keeping you in your inner fall.
All the time.
All the time.
24/7.
It keeps you in your luteal phase all the time.
Luteal phase.
Back in the day when I would do it, when I did birth control.
When I did it. It's like when I freaking did it.
I was a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
I was not mentally sound. It was not. I was like, fuck this shit. I remember a doctor prescribed it for my acne. Because I was going through this phase.
I just got diagnosed with endometriosis, and the doctor said the only remedy for this is birth control. And I'm like, you want me in my fucking luteal phase all the time, honey? That is not going to happen. You do not want that. The world does not need that.
No.
Oh, shit.
No.
And there's so many things that we can talk about too with assisting with and just.
I believe, my mother had endometriosis, so I do feel like it's going down the line and it's going to stop here with me, right?
High five.
It's just boom, we're done.
Cycle breaker.
Nah, we're done.
For what? Sorry?
Endometriosis.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I know all the things, and I know that you're going to be working with or are working with
It's
somebody,
a blessing
right?
and a curse. I do feel like it's going to upgrade all my knowing and intelligence, right? And so it's for me. It's a really heavy experience though, because endometriosis, I didn't even know I had endometriosis.
Can you tell for anybody that doesn't know what it is, just share what endometriosis is?
So that endometrial lining is getting too thick. There's huge inflammation happening in your uterus, around your fallopian tubes, around your ovaries. My endometriosis was flaring up around my bowels. So hence why I've been having all these IBS symptoms for the last 6 years. It's actually because this endometrial lining is clogging my frickin' bowels.
Oh, shit.
And my stomach.
And this is also due to EBV, Epstein-Barr, which we can,
Interesting.
It'll be great. That's what you'll hit, the side effect of EBV are these. And so once you just hit that, heavy metal detox, a few things, you're going to be golden.
I'm working with an amazing woman named Sarah Collins, who is, she's a holistic practitioner, so all about women's health. And
amazing. What's
happening with endometriosis is usually you're estrogen dominant. So there's way too much estrogen going on in my body.
Okay.
And it's causing that extra endometrial lining to build.
It's almost protection.
Yeah. So I'm in this whole healing moment right now, and I'm actually on pause. I'm not doing womb healings right now because I've got to work this magic on myself for a little bit.
And that is the true healer, good for you.
I don't have the time and space for other people's shit right now. I'm I gotta deal with me.
Yeah, you're healing.
I gotta deal with me.
This is beautiful. I'm so happy you're saying that.
And thank you for sharing their truth.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of shame and guilt sometimes in the professional world, especially for females, when we've worked so hard to gain this presence in our career, and to take that break. It's hard, and I see it even for my husband. It's been hard, like owning his own business, to take that time away. But I honor you for that.
Yes.
You know, really setting those boundaries so that you can heal your body
and nurture
and
yourself.
You're right. You know, when you're healing others, you're taking a lot of their shit. But there are some really amazing techniques too. In Kristen and I, we share, and we've learned this too through Stevie. Just really cutting the cords energetically.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's
like
all about protection.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I did a class of 25 last night. I thought I was going to be a bag of shit today.
No.
But see, we've had this happen where, like, in the beginning when we started doing this, the next day, how tired we are. And I'm not when I saw you earlier, I wasn't saying like I'm tired, but I prepare for this time, this phase of just really nurturing my soul after doing that much healing.
Yeah.
But literally every single person I connect with, because I do individual throughout the class, it's like a symbol of like cutting that energetic cord with nothing but love.
Yeah.
But I don't need your shit.
No.
I got my own.
Yes. No, it's
and I had an amazing sleep last night.
So
And I did my meditation this morning. And yeah, all the things. But I think it's important that we take that break for ourselves.
And listening to your body.
Integration, right?
Yeah.
Integrating all of the hard work I put in the last year. Like, Spirit is like, okay, this is the time for rest now. It took a pretty intense, like, basically hit the wall. And these cysts in my ovaries started to grow to the point of the cyst in my right ovary was literally the size of a grapefruit.
What?
It was like bulging out of my abdomen.
Babe.
And I was doing so much work on myself. I'm like, I gotta heal this shit. And no, it just kept growing. It's like, stop.
Holy
Full
shit
stop.
balls.
Yeah, I had to go in. I had to get surgery. They had to, and then that's when they found the endometriosis.
Honey.
So these giant cysts that I had was a sign for, okay, you got to slow down. You're taking on way too much. And unfortunately, we're not going to slow down until you actually get it removed. So,
Jeez.
and then when he was in there, he was like, oh, you had a fuckload of stage 4 endometriosis.
So this is EBV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
babe.
that's
It's
where
gonna
we're
be
at.
really-
Look at my scars. I'll show you.
Yes.
It's going to be really good. It's going to be fully healed.
I got one
That's it?
there. It's so tiny. They just go in with like little. Yeah, they just go in.
Awesome.
But to think that I was lying, like I'm having PTSD, like I'm having flashbacks of outer body, me looking down at my body on this cold table, bunch of strangers picking away at my womb space. Like, holy fuck, this is next level. So once I go through healing and integration, I'll be able to offer way better space and have all the more wisdom for my clients, which is great.
Yes, because you've been from that experience.
And so many women suffer from endometriosis and PCOS. So it's like, okay, I'm getting the download.
Yeah.
Shit.
And it's funny that I was just talking to you about that. That's something my whole, from 12, 13, all the way until I figured it out.
And no shame, right? Like, this is
No.
as healers, this is what we have to go through. And yeah, not perfect. I am a womb healer, but I'm doing the womb healing on myself right now, which is,
And that's the biggest thing. So like for me, you taking that moment to step away to nurture yourself is exactly the advice you would give to somebody else. And I have a hard time trusting in people that don't follow through with their actions. So if you are this, but you don't do it for yourself, that's really difficult.
No, do as I say, not what I do.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Do it to yourself and like you're doing for yourself.
I'm getting lived experience, right?
That's right.
And I will listen to Spirit. So Spirit was the one that told me to go and hold space for all these women. And now Spirit's saying, okay, rest. And I will know when the time for books to open again. I will know.
Once I have a baby, then you can open the books, okay?
Yeah. Well, I am still holding space for birth, but it's like that energy healing, that kind of stuff. It's gotta wait. It's gotta wait. Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
We're almost done.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the
So yeah, recap. Menstrual phase, days 1 to 5. Slow down, chill, inner winter. Follicular phase, inner spring, time to come up, time to go out. Ovulation, we're hot and heavy, horny, summertime. Luteal phase is our premenstrual phase, so we're coming back around full circle. We're about to bleed again. So that endometrial lining is actually starting to soften and shed.
Okay.
The cervix is softening and opening. And this is a time for us to, start to go inwards, slow down the schedule. You're not doing really hot cardio hit workouts. You're going more gentle yin kind of stuff. Maybe
during 21 to 28?
Yeah, days 21 to 28.
Okay.
For some women, it's, all the way into days 35. Some women have a really long cycle. I was like that. Before I started Yoni steaming and taking care of myself, I had like a 35-day cycle. It was so long. Yeah.
Wow. Did we talk? I don't know if we touched base on Yoni steaming.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. You said it again.
So the luteal phase, right? This is the phase we're in, days 21 to 28, our premenstrual phase. This is the best time to do what's called a Yoni steam, peri steam, whatever you want to call it, because some men will steam their butthole and their balls. And
Hell
that's
yeah.
great.
That's great.
That, right? Bring it in. So our genitals, like our yoni, is the most porous part of our body. It's ready, it's receptive, it can take in so much energy. So we have these beautiful plant allies on Mother Earth that are wanting to help us.
Yes.
Okay, so for women, before we bleed, we want to help soften the cervix. And this is actually a practice that is used in early labor in many cultures as well, because it will help soften everything. Open up the portal, right?
Yeah.
To allow for the blood to flow or allow the baby to come out. So Yoni steaming, you sit on a stool with a hole in it.
Or even you said the toilet.
Or the toilet.
Yeah, with a bowl.
With a bowl. So you grab your herbs, whatever herbs you want, depending on your symptoms and what it is you're wanting to call into your body. And you're putting these herbs in a bowl, preferably glass or ceramic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a metal bowl.
No, not a metal bowl or like a stainless steel. No, like plastic. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plastic is terrible for anything.
Yeah.
Even water bottles. Don't drink fucking water out of water bottles, please.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah. So the steam, what happens now is it's basically like a tea for your vagina. Okay.
Wow.
Like what's happening is the steam is coming up and into your yoni, and you're breathing that energy up, pulling it up.
I just
I visualize it. I know. I'm like,
yeah, you pull it up, and you're calling all the energy. So you can have rose in there, the highest botanical frequency. You can do yarrow if you want. Calendula is really good for healing as well. And I added motherwort to your blend because it's so good for the heart.
oh.
Yeah, good for the heart.
I'm so grateful that Madison put together beautiful herbs.
Yeah, herb blend.
Just a herb blend for me to do this. So I'll be able to talk all about it once I've experienced.
It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of funky. I remember I actually explained this to my family because my dad, I asked if he would make a stool for my clients. I'm like, will you make a stool with a hole in it? And he's like, what are you using it for? And I'm like, this is what... And I'm literally explaining to him it's going to be for yoni steam, a vaginal steam. And he's like, okay. Wow. He's like, sure. He's like, I'll help the vaginas of the world, no problem.
Oh
but
my
like,
so good.
Right? It's cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
you sit on the stool for about 20 minutes, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and you're going to feel hot. You're going to start to sweat.
Fantastic.
And you just let it all go.
Yeah.
So does your dad make these stools more than just for you?
Sure. I mean, we're talking about it. I'm like, Dad, listen.
I think I need a stool.
Yeah, if this pops off, because you can buy them on Etsy for like $200, $300. Like, there's some really beautiful ones.
Wow.
Yeah. Really
this is a real thing, you guys. We're not just like making this up here. This is
peri steaming. It's a really powerful practice if you have endometriosis, PCOS, if you're not even bleeding, if you're having amenorrhea, or you're just coming off the birth control pill. This is a way for you to tap back in with your womb, open the gates, and do some healing.
Or you've encountered maybe some energy that you really need to cleanse through.
This would be a really fun idea to do on a date night.
Oh my God.
I would sit that stool in the bathroom and while my husband's on the toilet, we're both steaming.
That would be actually cool.
That's cute.
Yeah.
We would totally do that. Like,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
we'll see who could sweat first.
Cleanse
Yeah.
the whole. Yeah.
It's the biggest, it's a huge orifice, right? It's like letting in. Another thing I'll say about peri-steam, so if you suffer from yeast infections and bacterial vaginosis, the BV virus, or any sort of bacterial infections going on, if you're suffering from an STI, genital herpes, there's certain herbs that you can use to help decrease your symptoms and slow things down. Yeah.
What is your take back on the UTI birth control, or is that what it's called? No, the thing.
Oh, the intrauterine device.
Yeah,
like you're talking about
the IUD.
IUD, that's what I mean.
Like the copper T.
Yeah, something like that.
So I did write in my notes here because I knew this was going to come up. The hormonal device, which releases that fake progesterone in the body, terrible. Don't fucking use that. Don't put that in your body, please.
No, it's so
unhealthy.
messed up.
Now, if you are in a time in your life, a season of your life where you don't want to have children, and you're not willing to step into the fertility awareness method, track your cervical mucus or track your basal body temperature in the mornings, if you don't want to do that and tap in with your cycle, you could consider the copper IUD.
Okay.
Right? So this is, Dr. Sarah Gottfried talks about this on the Huberman Lab. This is a recent episode that was released that is, every woman needs to listen to this episode because Dr. Sarah Gottfried is like incredible. Her credentials are like next level.
Okay.
And she talks about the copper IUD and how it's so good at preventing conception because it deters the sperm. It tells the sperm to go away. The sperm, they go up into the cervix, they go into the vagina, they go up, they hit the cervix, they find this copper IUD, and what's being released from the copper IUD makes it so the environment is not good for the sperm, and they either die or they swim away from it.
Okay.
So she says this is the better method of contraception.
If you have to use any at all.
Yeah. Now,
it's still copper.
It's not releasing fake hormones in your body, but it is releasing an excessive amount of copper, which could cause a zinc deficiency in the body.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. I know because the medical medium talks about copper in the body. Just sometimes people do need it a little, but sometimes it can do the opposite.
Yeah.
Damn.
Women that have the copper IUD do report excessive bleeding because you'll still go through your cycle and bleed with the copper IUD, but you might bleed an excessive amount because your body's like trying to get
rid
something
of it.
out.
Ew, God,
Yeah.
what?
Right.
If you can get in tune with your body and really know when you're ovulating and just avoid those times, that's really the best form.
Yeah.
But if you can't, at least there's a safer-ish, kinda.
Yeah.
Anything foreign in the body isn't.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But no, this is good information to share.
Very good.
So are we clear with the cycles here?
Yes. I think we are clear with the cycles.
Good.
It's freaking dope.
Know your cycle, get in tune, tap in. When you're in your follicular phase, you're going out, you're doing all your business meetings, you're making the phone calls, you're right. And then when you hit your luteal phase, you're slowing down, you're about to bleed, right? So after the luteal phase, we go back into that menstrual phase where we're bleeding.
What was the phase that we're going and doing all the things?
The follicular phase. After we bleed, we go into our follicular phase, and then we ovulate.
So follicular phase is 5 to 14.
Days 5 to 14.
Is go time.
Go time, hit cardio workouts, do it, like get out there.
Okay. It's interesting because I have been in this last while every day. I'm just bam, like every day at the gym, just go, go, go.
Yeah. You're in your
perfect.
follicular phase.
Yeah.
I'm in my follicular phase.
She's hot.
I'm frolicking in the follicular.
And how fun is this? Like as girl and like as sisters, we can share. Like, honey, like I can't host the wine night. I'm in my luteal phase. Right?
Yeah,
or
right.
I can't host the heavy metal detox night because I'm in my
Yeah. Or everyone come over. I'm ovulating. Let's have a sex party and it'll be great.
Oh my god.
My ears started ringing as
You're
soon as you said that.
Or what did you call it? Your ovary parties?
My
that you used to
ovary
have? Right.
weekend.
Yeah, ovary weekend.
No, nobody was having sex. It was just women. There wasn't even, our husbands weren't even allowed to come in and bring us coffee.
I love that.
Yeah.
They were
Just
in
a
the
bunch of
river.
ovaries.
So I wanted to share something with your beautiful viewers that you have. I wrote this while I was in my luteal phase. Okay, so this is right before I'm about to bleed. And I find myself a little bit manic when I'm in my luteal phase. I'm like trying to get shit done and I have anxiety. I'm like all over the place. And I wanted to justify this for myself and feel like this is actually okay and normalize it for me.
Wow.
So I did a little journal entry.
Oh, thank
you want to hear it.
Yes.
And
this was a long time ago. This was like in September. Yeah.
Ooh, cool. 2022. What?
Just love all the numbers. It's like my birthday.
Love.
Oh.
So I called it the luteal phase mania, and because I know a lot of women also feel this way during their luteal, or they don't even know about this, and they're like, why do I feel like shit today? What's going on?
Or they're on birth control and you feel like this all the time, so this is going to be your biggest red flag sign to get off.
Yeah.
Because you're operating at a luteal phase 24/7.
So unhealthy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like it's very normal for women to feel manic during their luteal phase. It's our last chance to tidy the nest, tie up loose ends, and organize life admin and get shit done before we are hit with a wave of fresh blood. It's our opportunity to finish projects or make those phone calls before the gates of our cervix opens, shall I call it the floodgates. It is okay to feel anxious and depressed during this sensitive time when the uterus is swollen and preparing to release energy from the last 3 weeks. Our time to come full circle with everything in our life, with everything that's coming up in our life, it's our time to come full circle. And then I wrote down a few affirmations that we can say to ourselves during the luteal phase. I am free to get shit done. I have the energy to take on small tasks and complete them. I am safe to feel heavy right now. My emotions don't define me. And then actions that we can take to help reduce anxiety that we might be feeling during the luteal phase. Vacuum. Love vacuuming.
Did it the other
Vacuum, right? Make the bed, put the red sheets on because you're probably about to bleed, right? Clean the bathroom, make a chili, meal prep, take your bone broth out of the freezer, do some yin yoga, light candles, make your tea infusions, tidy up life admin, pay those bills, and then check in with a friend who makes you laugh. And remember that bleeding is a blessing. It is not a curse.
Ooh.
Wow.
So
That's
good.
amazing.
Right?
Nice work. Boo.
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
cute.
That's the biggest takeaway is knowing and teaching your daughters. Don't teach them and pass that along to say, oh, you're going to get your period and this is what you do and you're going to feel this, and teach them about the cycle and the phases and what it's there for and how beautiful it is and that it's not a burden.
I can't wait to talk to my daughter about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the different phases.
Yeah, so what we're doing, I'm actually working with 2 other amazing womb healers right now in the city, and we have created the Red Tent Mystery School.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's right. Please tell us about this.
So we will be having a teens program.
Yeah.
And they'll come into like a virtual red tent if they want to do it online and learn about all their phases and the phases of the menstrual cycle to prepare them for this incredible menarche, the ceremony of the menarche as you step into your power as a woman. Yeah. And
I love how you're saying that because it's teaching them that they're going into that new phase. They're transitioning to becoming a woman and how powerful that is and how that's this goddess feminine energy. It is not a hindrance. It's not a problem. You're not, oh, you must be cycling. You're just so grumpy and it's a problem. It's like,
that's sad. That's where our culture's at right now.
Well, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Because we're retraining from
going back to the roots, man.
Yeah.
Because when women met their menarche in the ancient days, they would go through a rite of passage. They would go through a ceremony, right? Where they learn about their blood. They learn about the different rituals they can do to live in optimal coherence with the earth and with themselves and how to help the planet. and be medicine women and healers of the village, and right? So we're missing that right now.
And here's what's happening is your body's speaking to you yet again, and you may have cramping, or you may, you're cycling, you're bleeding, you're not feeling well. Take an Advil and go to the gym. That is such a problem. This is just mask it, take something, but your body's speaking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always.
Something's coming up, right?
Yeah. Hot compress, medicine.
Our
nurture.
blood is. I was reading an article. I love this. So our menstrual blood is our monthly report card.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Smart.
Right?
Yes.
So how much cramping, or what it looks
what
like,
you've done,
what you've
how
done,
much you failed.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay.
How about
F?
Or how about a beautiful overview to forecast for your goals for the next intention setting ceremony?
Mm-hmm. You just rolling with these verses, man. You should write a psalm.
Well, it's all part of the plan.
Part of the plan, okay.
Is there anything else that we need to touch base on regarding our womb, our flowage?
Well, let's see.
I'm just trying to think. We touched on birth control, how we highly encourage a huge no.
Mm-hmm.
The cycle, the phases. I think, Madison, I'll let you sit for a minute, and obviously we're going to pull a card.
Well, what I'd like to say, and this is one thing that I actually haven't been speaking about until I guess now is the time for it to come out, but I've been thinking about it in my brain for so many years. It's like our women, our children, the young women in our society, they need to learn how to take care of themselves in their luteal phase before they bleed. This is how they will prepare themselves for their birthing process. So, right? So how we show up for ourselves in our luteal phase is that's a blueprint for how we're going to show up during our birth time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you go, imagine if you, from the day you met your menarche, 10 years old, 11 years old, and you know your cycle and you take good care of yourself in your luteal phase, you will know how to fucking rock your birth.
You
get pregnant.
You'll be so innate. You'll be so in touch.
You'll know.
Yeah.
An innate knowing.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're in tune, our intuition is strong, and we can flow and be embodied when we're in our birthing process, and we're not looking for, somebody save me, I'm about to bleed, right? Somebody save me, I'm about to birth my baby. It's like, oh, this is my time to go inside.
Right.
Or even stopping it. It's like, oh, I'm bleeding, stop.
Yeah.
That's a problem, yeah.
Holy crap.
We need to open and surrender in birth.
Yes,
What do you use for during your period?
So when I'm bleeding, day one, I like to free bleed into period panties. And then usually around dear period panties.
No, there's actual ones that we should tell everybody about those.
They absorb,
There's lots of companies right now that have started producing period panties, and they're not all safe.
No.
And you got to do your research.
It's really
awkward. In the show notes, we'll put in which companies are good.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just free bleed either into a towel or into menstrual underwear. And then days 2 or 3, I'll usually use the Diva cup, which I know a lot of women don't like, because to have something up inside their vagina close to their cervix can be painful and it can cause cramping. But I like collecting my blood and then working with it, or collecting it and then offering it back to the earth.
Yeah.
And I just want to look at it, like see how, like
observe
what,
it.
Yeah, like what's going on in there.
See what's going on. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And and then I'll use organic cotton pads if I'm, I'm shedding a little bit.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And can you talk real quick about tampons? We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah. So tampons are what you were saying earlier. They're like a plug.
Yeah.
So if you're cramping during your menstrual cycle and you're using periods, it's probably, and you're using tampons, it's probably because your body is like, get it out.
It's trying to, yeah.
It's trying to get it out.
Yeah.
The other thing about tampons is they are dyed, bleach dyed. We're talking about the vagina being the most porous part of our body, and then you're shoving some bleach up there.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're using organic tampons, it's a different story.
That's the only ones that we buy.
It's just still plugging.
But I still would like to get my daughter on a Diva cup, I think.
I mean, I know some women who are like, they're really into MMA and they don't want to slow down during their period, and you know but they're worried about like in they're grappling their partner. They don't want to use like pads. They want to use a tampon, so they'll use like organic tampons and that kind of stuff. But for me, when I'm bleeding, I'm like, shut her down. The schedule's closed. Yeah. And I'm just like at home.
I love that.
There's blood everywhere. My Greg's like, for fuck's sakes. You fucking stained the $400 linen sheets again.
Oh my God.
Whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, you could put,
the red sheets on.
Or there's hospital pads.
They have like splash, those like the blankets that are for the women who really like, they ejaculate a lot when they have an orgasm.
Yes!
They're like, there's like little squirt blankets that like
big ones.
Yeah,
big squirt blankets.
They're big squirt blankets.
Tiffany's like, no, it's actually extra large. It covers the
have
wall and the floor.
No, but I should get one because.
Are you a squirter? You just like.
Oh yeah. Oh, he just knows how to do it the right way. It's like.
That's awesome.
I remember asking Dave, like, how do you do that? He's like, I'm not telling you.
And you're like, the sheets are like soaked now, so.
Like, I want to go to bed and I can't. Like, what the fuck?
I'm learning. I'm getting there. It's hard. You gotta have the right.
It's an angle. It's an
just,
angle. Yeah, it's just like, it's this. Right, Kristen? We talked about this, right?
Oh, no, it's just taking
She's
me back.
observing.
No, I'm just taking back to some memories.
Yeah, like, it's also like the porn industry has really like made it seem like every woman can squirt and gush all over the place when it's actually really hard to get there. And so it sets high standards.
It's about comfort even with yourself, let alone another person with you.
That's G-spot for an orgasm. I mean, I think it's amazing we have a few ways to orgasm.
Yes. And also allowing women to feel comfortable with exploring themselves without shame, because there's a lot of shame that's around this entire topic for some people. Yeah. So it's really important to not feel shameful and to explore yourself, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's very important. It's very healthy.
If you made it through this entire podcast, I commend you, because it's true. There's so many of these topics are so taboo. They're topics that are quite sacred and are held within, in ancient times, the red tent.
Yeah.
But we're just going to throw it out there for all you to listen. And then for the even more sacred topics, and when you want to bleed in ceremony with other women and bleed and birth your babies in ceremony with other women, that's when we go into the red tent. We do that.
I wish I had known that when I had babies.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
So
do that.
Yeah, it's amazing how things are just coming back to what they once were.
Roots.
Yeah. So myself and Kelsey, Shania Ray, and Sakura Rose we have our Red Tent Mystery School website that you can check out. There's going to be events. She has a literal giant red tent. It's like some of the most powerful magic I've ever witnessed in my life. We're doing some retreats this summer.
Oh.
And down here in the Lower Mainland.
So sign us up. We'll be there.
I'll give you the dates and you can put them in the show notes. And
and
come springtime, I should be open for womb healing once again. I feel myself, coming around full circle with my own healing.
Yeah.
And then I'm always willing to speak to women who are wanting to have me in their birth space. So it's such an honor.
Yeah, you're so amazing. And we will also be doing more work with Madison and also some collab and circle stuff. So thank you for coming back on the show. This is next level. This conversation, I don't want it to stop.
I know.
I just want it to keep going.
Yeah.
There's so much.
There is so much
There's
more.
so much at the table.
Yeah.
Let's do the card.
Yeah, we'll do the card. And side note, something that we all had a discussion about, we'll drop a little seed, is there a way for us to continue to bleed even when people say like, oh, you have menopause and it's supposed to stop? And this is a really good controversial topic and something that we will deep dive into on another episode, just to talk about, can our bodies be healthy enough with all the foods and medicine that we take to allow that flow to keep happening, that cycle to keep happening? Why does it have to stop? So we will dive into that.
I'm just like, yeah, you brought this into my awareness. I've never heard of someone talk about there not being a thing of menopause. So in the Red Tent Mystery School, we talk about it as like a moon pause.
That's right.
Right? So it's like a time where we stop bleeding and we're in our wise old crone phase. But what you're suggesting is that we never actually hit that phase and we keep bleeding.
Keep cycling and keep renewing, because I feel like in these bodies, they're always needing to like renew and to cycle, and every month, and the moon phases. So it's like, why does it stop in a female form in the body? So it's not saying that there's one way or another. It's just open for discussion.
Well, when you think of the anatomy part, it's because we'll just reframe this for our audience. You only have so many eggs that drop, but it's not the eggs that causes the period.
That's right.
It's the endometrial lining that's shedding.
That's
right.
Which is energy that's shedding, and what no longer serves you is shedding.
Exactly. And that's part of my thought of like, hey, if we're fueling our vessel and our hormones are in balance, and we're our progesterone and our estrogen and everything is flowing, what actually is causing it to stop? I love this. I love to like pull it back even more, and there is more talks of this through like medical medium stuff, but
it's just blowing my mind, because I think of like, well, when you're in your menarche days, you are able to conceive a child, and so you're bleeding because you're not pregnant
for a purpose,
right?
So
now it's making me wonder, like, is it possible for a 90-year-old woman to give birth and thrive?
So actually, there was a woman that she was quite, I don't want to say old, but she was definitely like later years, and she did.
Wow.
Yeah. This is 100% has happened.
Well, the system talks about, the medical obstetric complex talks about, if you're over 35, you're actually a geriatric birther.
Yeah. Yes. Isn't that wild?
See, and this is, here's me, and this is going...
Or more likely to have twins, or...
Yeah.
Or having problems. So if we want to talk and we want to zoom out for a minute, like spiritually, what you've chosen and what you've signed up to experience with another soul, and whether maybe there's complications with this soul, or maybe, and I don't even want to say complications, it's a divine plan. It's what you're meant to experience, and the soul is meant to experience, whether it's complications or ailments or whatever that is. It's all part of the plan. So why does somebody say, well, at 40 this is going to happen? I believe if the vessel is very pure and has all this nutrients dense enriched foods from Mother Earth, and you don't have all these problems, you very much can birth a healthy baby and soul. I have friends that are in their 40s and have beautiful natural home births, wild the entire pregnancy.
Love that.
So who's to say? I feel like a lot of the times all these people just say, well, this is what it is, but it's not true for every being. It is not. What may be true for others doesn't necessarily have to be true for you. So
we just share our stories and hope you resonate.
Yeah, and this is all part of knowledge, sacred knowledge, thinking outside of the box. When we just think right here.
We are all wise women. We are all wise women. We all hold the medicine in our hearts, in our wombs, and we want to share, right? It's not about competition or feeling,
It's tribal.
Yeah,
it's a tribal thing. Like, we're meant to share stories so we can learn from other people's experiences instead of having to experience it all on our own.
And knowing you're not alone. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, is what you think other people are going through, you are going through it too. We're all going through it.
Or whatever you're going through, somebody else is going through.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yes.
But, teamwork.
Okay, let's pull a card from each. So you go ahead, Tiffany, you go ahead. I have to go to the washroom. I have to.
You gotta pee.
I'm gonna listen to my body.
I'm gonna listen to my body.
That's the dandelion.
And have integrity within that vessel.
That's the dandelion leaf tea. Am I supposed to pull one too?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? This is going to be great because these cards are all going to be connected into one. Oh, buddy. Okay, have you seen these?
No, what is this?
Holy
is this
shit.
a game?
Yes.
Oh,
Not
so-
really. Not
oh.
really. No. These are... Okay, this is great. Oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this. So you're going to pull one of these. I will show you. So each color has a different... So guys, this is the cards of connection. The yellow-green is foreplay. That one's chemistry.
Oh, so that's just
deeper.
those are just questions.
I know, but it would be cool.
I don't know.
She pulled the deck.
Oh, you pulled it. Oh,
She
if you
grabbed it.
if you pulled it, it's
grabbed
divine.
it.
Okay,
So
it's in divine alignment.
Okay, let's dive
This is
deeper
great.
with one of these questions.
One thing that I'm very excited to experience is as I'm evolving and, getting my human vessel is aging, I'm going to try to just, obviously we'll see what happens, but by being super healthy and taking all the vitamins and nutrients, I'm going to be able to be kind of that poster person to say, well, I was able to still have a cycle, or no, my body naturally went into...
So hopefully we
Stopping.
have a podcast still by then, so you can tell everybody the results.
We will. It might be more of like a digital, what is it called now, where people are like, no, like when they like project you.
The hologram?
Yes. I'll be a hologram in your home being like, I'm still
I love that you picked
cycling.
up on that.
Yes,
That's
you
so
go. I was like,
good.
you know.
Yeah.
So I'll just be a hologram.
Kristen will just be in your fucking living room.
Yes.
Bleeding
Like,
all over you.
I'm bleeding and I'm 95.
And I'm still look the same.
And she's I don't put you past it. You're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
I'm gonna make blood masks.
Oh my god, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Send me a picture. You can send me a picture of your blood. Honestly, this is my
Oh my
life. Like,
God.
I'll get random text messages from like my girls and my clients, and they're like, "Is this healthy, happy blood?" I'm like, "Yeah, put it on your face."
Sick!
that's dope.
Yeah.
I didn't send you a photo of mine, but I will next time.
Yeah.
Tiff's already got hers.
Yep. Hey.
Oh my god.
Imrama.
Where are you oh my god, see, do it.
So, let's see if we get
Cohesive?
yeah.
Okay.
Kristen, pull yours.
Oh,
What are you waiting for?
sorry. Okay, this card is for the collective. What is the message?
He's so good at this. Holy shit.
I got two.
This is my favorite deck
This one?
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful deck.
in the whole wide world.
Oh,
I
you
love this
do you
deck.
have it?
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh, that's so cool. Of course you do. It's part of the Pleiades sister. Okay. This is quite interesting.
So, do you want to turn them over so I can see the whole message here?
I think we should each individually
We will.
say too.
Absolutely. So
You can't even
Okay.
make this up.
Aww.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
See, I love this. This
Also,
is
do
dope.
you see the flower too? That was on the beginning card of the one that she pulled.
Oh, yeah. So our first card that I pulled, that's from which deck is this, my love? The Light.
Work your light.
Work Your Light from Rebecca Campbell. In Rama, where are you being called to journey to? Kristen, you have your cards, and then we got a question here. So, can you read your cards real quick?
Angel of Addiction Healing. This is a time of positive transformation and healing. Duh! Like, come on.
Duh.
And look at the woman's face and the snakes. It's like that, just that awakening. Everything is coming together. And actually, this is mirroring with your last episode, how you were talking about the masculine and the feminine and how it's coming together like this. And that is exactly what that is. And it's like the man and the woman.
Dope. Is it a man and a woman?
Looks like it.
Yeah. And then I got Angel of Union. A partnership is blessed and destined for greatness. Wow. And that's just two people with this beautiful flower blooming. And then it's like the angel, the bird, it's like a dove energy to me with the angel wings. and it's for me, it's like blooming, blossoming, fertile grounds, and like just really having that counterpart, and obviously that masculine and feminine energies really coming through with my cards.
Okay, so read your question.
I feel like this is the question, and your cards that you both pulled are the answer.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Okay, you go. We're gonna give the floor to you. You do what
Right.
you.
Okay.
Yes, you do you, mama.
So, if you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? I feel like your childhood traumas and all the shit you went through as a young person are setting you up to go on a journey throughout your adulthood and into your crone phase. And the card that you pulled, Tiffany, is really interesting because it says, where are you being called to journey to? Well, we're going on a journey to heal the parts of us that got broken and how we were conditioned and programmed in our childhood. So the trauma and all the crap that we had to move through, that is the journey in our adulthood where we are trying to heal from that trauma.
Yes.
And so in order to heal that trauma, well, we are healing the addictions that leave us trapped in that traumatic victim state. And we are finding union and love with ourselves so that we can release the addictions, step out of victim mode, and be in alignment with our higher self, which is going to help how you were raised as a child, because you're coming into good relations with the trauma, and you're feeling like you can forgive the trauma of your childhood. So for me, like, if I could change anything about how I was raised, well, this is a hard one for me because my mom really did. My parents both fostered an incredible environment for me to be myself, which is why I've been able to step into this work at such a young age. Mm-hmm. My mom never questioned my clairvoyance, my clairaudient, and my gifts as a young little girl. I was very much in my own imagination. And my parents loved that about me. They didn't care that I didn't have friends. I was just talking to ghosts my whole childhood. They didn't care. They loved it. They thought it was interesting. They didn't send me to a psychologist to put me on some drugs or whatever, right?
Thank God.
No, they're just do your thing and she'll be all right.
That's why you chose them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I chose them, yeah.
Yeah.
Although there was some addiction there, right? They were addicted to drinking alcohol and running from their own trauma. Mm-hmm. So I wish that I didn't have to witness so much of that, because now I'm on a journey to heal my own addictions that are keeping me from releasing myself from that trauma. Does that make sense?
Wow.
100%.
Yeah.
You literally that was fucking everything.
Yeah. So I'm finding more union with myself and finding the relationships that feel good for me, so that I don't have to feel like, I'm in that inner child state of witnessing so much trauma. And anyways,
you can now step into your power as you, not the hurt little girl.
Right.
Now you've grabbed her hand.
Yes.
The beautiful part about the trauma, though, is because it's so different for everybody, and we often can think oh, I wish, but in my eyes, it was kind of meant for you, because then you can actually specialize in that area. You're going to be specialists in that area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that is I think that within itself is so beautiful. The womb healing, the medical medium, the fitness and self-love. Obviously everything we're doing is about self-love, but that's what develops that clarity of, what to teach and what to bring down that line.
That's right.
If I was to change anything about the thing I was raised, what would it be? See, it's interesting because I think about these things, but the things that I would have been, I would say, are the things that have brought to my strengths now. So not being hurt, accepting myself, feeling the love for myself. I lacked all of that for so many years, and I overcompensated, and it helped me hone in on what that looks like for me as a more of a balanced person and a more balanced woman. And that has brought strength in my higher power and that warriorness in me. So, I mean, if anything, it would have been, like, we left my dad at a very young age, and my father and I are extremely close. Like, we reunited when I was 20, and him and I have a very, very deep connection. Like, we've been lifetimes together. Like, I don't know that he's always been my father. Like, we just have that really, really deep connection, and I feel like there's been a big part of that was a little bit robbed from me because of the lifestyle my parents lived. So very similar, like, because of their shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And even, I think even just having him in your life, from even with whatever being, like, because Tiffany was moved away, but even if you would have had that role in your life as even a phone call or whatever, right? It would have been a nice thing.
There was never a lack of love. It was just a lack of know-how and struggling with their own addictions.
Their own stuff.
Yeah.
And there's the addiction coming up again.
Yeah.
It's all of the things.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is. Yeah.
And we're healing though. We're healing that.
It's a cycle
lineage.
for the cycle breakers.
Yeah.
And it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But we're like, oh, that's a good idea. And we're like, oh, these parents will mirror the themes that we chose to sign up for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then we're like, oh, human form actually here. Can I take that back?
Yeah. Like, this is hard.
Shit.
This is hard. I'm just going to keep drinking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's what people do, and know that, you know, your themes in your childhood and what you signed up to do is to overcome, not to be stuck in the addiction phase. You can move through this phase.
Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
So powerful.
So powerful.
Would you answer that question, Kristen?
If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what it would be? It's similar. It's love. It's self-love. It's really, I didn't know how to love myself or it was never like, it wasn't because of them in the sense of like saying that I wasn't good enough. It was just not talked about or taught. Or, you know, it wasn't anything. It was always, appearance, external. So I didn't get to learn how to internally love myself. So yeah, it's a big one. And that's due to the mirror of them not knowing how to do that. Of course. Here we can say, as doing all the work, we can pinpoint all the things, but this is truth.
I have this vision in my mind of one of your paternal or maternal lineages down the line. There was this like a very aristocrat energy, very well off, wealthy, right? And so it was all about the material, like fancy show. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Down the line somewhere. I don't know.
No, I love that.
I do know, but
you do know. No, you do know, and that has been carried on to this point where I'm like, wait a minute. And through my own life experiences and things that I've chosen, like, I've learned very early on that it's not about things. Things don't fulfill you. They never will. And I made like really big changes in my life recently to just let go of anything that, I was holding on to. So it's really such a beautiful, bittersweet ending, I guess, to really close that chapter, to say in life, things are just things. We can't take them with us.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's very big for your lineage. Wow, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for everything. Your
what
magic.
What a great read, you guys.
That's so nice.
This
great.
Thank you.
I love the theme shit. Like, this is
even
dope.
the colors, like, and the blue, and
lots
then look
blue.
at this. Look at the colors, and
so
the white
nice.
is just such a beautiful thing. We hope you guys all loved this episode as much as we love Madison. She's incredible. Thank you, Madison. We'll be back.
Yes.
Again. Very soon.
Oh,
very soon.
What a pleasure.
You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. You know, if you have any questions for Madison, throw it under the the comments on YouTube. If you can reach out to her, Ode to Birth is her company.
Yes.
She has so many offerings right now. Of course, she's taking a little break, but she'll be back and better than ever.
This is in the quantum field now, so.
Oh.
That's right.
We just, by you guys sitting and watching from start to end, the amount of codes and downloads and like integration, I can't even tell you. Like, just feel it. Like Madison said at the beginning, feel it and welcome it and just be like, okay, thank you. Even if it doesn't make sense, you've just been upgraded. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We need like an ending theme song.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking like, Nova Scotia's calling me. I've always wanted to go to Nova Scotia.
Oh my God. What are the numbers of Nova Scotia?
3849.
Interesting. What song? Yeah, I was actually thinking of a song earlier and I was gonna sing it, but I was like, and the song, it was a Beatles or like an Elton John or something like that. When we were talking about I don't know, it was like Together or Union or something, and I was like, oh, it's not here.
But you didn't know why then, and
now it makes sense, and we're like.
Thank you for coming to our sacred space of healing.
Woo!
We are protected.
Woo! Go, mama, go!
That's all I got.
All right.
I love that.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love you all.
Yes.
And you'll get all the details in the show notes. Talk soon.